Okay, Malcolm Rodriguez was a guy that we were going to have our eye on in training camp. The
Absolutely.
pads have come on, and lo and behold, this guy gets brought up by Dan Campbell. And so I'm going to toss it over to Craig in just a second, but some background on what was said. Dan Campbell was asked, "Hey, you had Malcolm Rodriguez in there with the first team. What are your thoughts on that?" And he said, "Hey, pads have come on, and this guy's just popping out, like standing out, standing out as a guy that we want to look at." So we gave him some reps in the first team. His read and react is outstanding. We have to see what he can do. So we're just going to put more on his plate and see how he can do it. And he's a guy that pads come on, no surprise, jumps out to the coaching staff. He's getting already looks at the first team. So Craig, back when we drafted this guy in the 6th round, it was like, I like this. Kind of
Yeah.
coming full circle. Let's see what you can do. Well, all of a sudden pads are on, and this guy's making plays. There's one play that I saw where he blew up a screen pass like it was absolutely nothing. Read and
Beautiful.
react for a young guy. So
Yeah.
your thoughts when you hear this, see this, that this guy's actually doing what we would hope he can do?
I think my reaction is I'm not surprised.
Mm.
And I don't think you're surprised. And I think the best part about this, if I'm being completely honest, is we saw it coming, but not just us. It wasn't one of those things where Sports Talk Detroit is just like tooting the horn of how good
Exactly.
Malcolm Rodriguez is. It's like, no, everybody was.
Yep.
Aaron Glenn said something very similar. He said when there was an interview with him, it was yet to have the pads on. And when they asked, who are you excited to get the pads on? He said 30 to 40 guys. And then everybody laughed. And he's like, no, seriously. I can't wait to see Malcolm Rodriguez. And he said a couple of other names because he knew the intangibles were there. The read and react was there. The mental side of the game. The question is, when you get the pads on, you always knew what this guy was going to do. Like you knew he was going to bring that physical presence. That's
and
it.
Jared Davis was talked about too. There's another one, no surprise, right? Get the pads on that animal, and he's gonna do something. He's going
to go 100 miles an hour. It might be in the right direction.
Absolutely. And then Derek Barnes is a guy that, boy, not hearing about much, and he struggled so much last year. Not even struggled. He just couldn't even get on the field. And you and I have talked about this with Derek Barnes, that linebacker room. He's a guy athletically
struggle a little bit. He got on the field, especially in that back half there, and he had rookie struggles. You weren't wrong.
Yeah. Okay. But the fact that he couldn't even, after Jamie Collins is gone, and
that he couldn't consistently play. Yes.
Yeah, and he couldn't get on the field for a snap. I mean, you could go back and look, but I don't think in those first 8 games he got on the field. And you're looking around, you're like, Jalen Reeves-Maybin looks taxed, but we've talked about
that.
He's
just out there sweating like crazy,
wearing a long sleeve. You're like, get
the rookie
in.
Give me something, sucking wind. Like, give me a break here. Just give me something.
Yeah, Barnes, you got me. And he's just like, nope. Because if he comes in, they'll score a touchdown. So
there might be a big play. Yep.
Yeah. So where I'm going with that is and I love what you said. This isn't like we've did some in-depth scouting and we found Malcolm Rodriguez. It was like, you saw him, you watched the film, you looked at it. So it's a credit to Brad Holmes, and we need this guy. And I don't expect a lot out of him. I really don't, but it's just another guy that hey, awesome. You are going to play. You are going to see some time in the first team. We need this guy because Barnes, I don't know. Jared Davis, I don't know. Anzalone's probably going to get hurt. I mean, come on. And this guy's going to play a lot. So we need to see good things.
Yeah. And I think he's going to play. And what you want to see is that he's already taken that role and said, no, I'm the best one here. I deserve first team reps. I'm going to get them. And I think here's the misconception about linebackers. The NFL has kind of gone to this linebacker style where it's speed. You want speed for days and things like that. But depending on what your defensive scheme is, you just need solid interior linebackers. You just need them to be solid. And don't get me wrong, Rodriguez is quick. He's not stupid fast. He doesn't have DB speed, but not every linebacker does. So you just need the guy that's going to be solid, that's going to be in the right place at the right time, and trust the talent around him. Let that front line, that front four, do their job. He can pick up the pieces. It doesn't have to be this game-breaking, game-changing player. Like, he doesn't have to be that guy for the linebacking core. He just has to be the steady presence that's going to get tackles, make the right read, and not allow big plays. Like, that's what his role in this defense
Yep.
should be.
That's a great point because I think it's almost too hard to play defense now. Like to be a Ray Lewis, Brian Urlacher. Like obviously those guys would be okay.
Imagine
Yeah.
being that in today's NFL.
Oh,
Like,
you got screen passes, jet sweeps. I mean, those guys would have been fine, I'm sure. But at the same time,
sure.
you're so right though. It's not that guy is not out there because it's like, look, we just have to slow teams down. It favors the offense. We have to slow teams down. We have to make the right plays, make the layups when they're there, be in the right position. And so it's like, okay, Malcolm Rodriguez checks all that. This is a guy that's going to be in the right position, mentally knows what he's doing, because Derek Barnes is just not checking that mental box where he's getting confused. So you make a great point. He does not have to be this great linebacker. What if he just settles the room down? Because you can't just make these mistakes against Aaron Rodgers, 3rd and 8, and it's a 15-yard pass because it's like, he didn't see that. If we can just stay in front of make teams make throws, make teams do it, because before it's like that's just blown coverage or that's a blown gap.
Yeah,
I love that point a lot because that just shows me he doesn't have to be this great linebacker for him to really help us.
and can we just say this too? We don't expect him to be the next top 10 linebacker in the NFL.
No,
Right? Like, we don't expect him. My hope for Rodriguez going forward is that he is a solid starting linebacker. Like, he's the second best linebacker. Like, he's not our huge playmaker. I want him to be our steady Eddie. And then in the future, we can find that game breaker type linebacker. Like, that's not what I expect him to be. Am I crazy? Am I wrong in that?
No.
Like, I just expect him to be good. I expect him to be solid. I don't expect him to be out of this world phenomenal. It's, you know what it feels like to me? It feels like the opposite side of the ball of what we all said about Amon-Ra St. Brown last year. Like, you turn on the film, you watch him in college, you hear him talk, you see the pedigree, you see the history behind his game, and you just wonder to yourself, like, how does this guy fail? Like, it almost seems like there's a floor there that's just so much higher. And that's kind of what I expect. And then St. Brown even surpassed expectations last year.
I love that exercise that you do of like what's the just worst case scenario is
Love
not,
me some worst case.
Yeah, is not that bad. Like I just, what's the worst case with this guy? He just plays special teams really well. Like I just don't see a point where it's like can't get him on the field, should never have drafted him. And so yeah, dude, I love that. And I also love you said it about Brad. Well, you didn't say it, but Brad Holmes finding St. Brown, finding Malcolm Rodriguez, where same type of thing where, yeah, again, we're not some geniuses that saw this. Like, you guys are going to really like Malcolm Rodriguez. It's like, oh, I mean, instantly, how did this guy fall to us? We'll take it. And then, and I think last thing I'll say on this is on Brad Holmes, that he's not investing in linebackers. And it goes back to what you said. I don't think you can get that impact linebacker because it's too hard. Offenses are too good. So he waited, didn't go after Nakobe Dean. Man, we were all over that. And he's just like, nah, I got this Oklahoma State guy, 6th round. We're totally fine. That's awesome.
Can I ask this question? When you put the film of Malcolm Rodriguez and you started watching it and you started realizing who this guy was, can you just answer the question, how in the world that guy drops to the 6th round?
I don't know.
Like, is it just simply he doesn't have the measurables? Like, I don't. Like, how does that guy drop to the 6th round with his speed, his strength, his playmaking, the very clear seeing on tape, read and reactability? I don't get it. I just don't get it. I'm happy.
I love it. And I think he's going to definitely get featured on Hard Knocks. Or just something, not feed. I don't know what they'll do, but keep an eye on that. Yeah, we love it. We're
linebacker Malcolm Rodriguez is trying to make his stamp in the starting rotation.
Or no, what's the music they do where it's just like, it's like yeah,
something like, it's hard to do. I'm not musical. Don't make fun of us.
No, because in your head it was crystal clear. Then you went to do it, and it was like, that's not it.
You're like, no, that's not it. And then you're like, what is it? I'm like, oh, I'll show them what it is. Nope.
All right, we're out of here. Subscribe if you haven't, and we will see all of you on the next one.